this week's video, we're doing
the Seltos, the Kia
GT. This car, David, is as sharp as...
Attack.
Something that's sharp.
Attack.
Because at the front, they've got this really neat trim. This front is really aggressive. Now, that's the old Kia badge.
It's certainly got more detail and more sharpness and more modernness. Modernness? I just abused the English language there.
Modernity.
Modernity, there you are. It sounds like someone is about to give birth. These lights really are
And the
much
fog
more...
lights, I think they look really classy.
Yep.
The side profile, the first thing you're going to notice is that because we have the top model, it's all-wheel drive. So it gets sexier wheels with the neat red highlights. But also it gets a lot of other things as well. This has got the paintwork. What's this called?
Baby poo green.
Baby poo green, it's called.
I'm not thinking... It may not be its official name.
No. I think baby poo green actually, I think that's fairly accurate. But it's got the dark roof. Now this is called cherry.
Cherry?
And these neat kind of built-in roof rails, again, you can see there's nothing, you can't go through that. So anything that fits on that has to go into the profile of the roof. We loved this a lot. We loved it at launch.
It was a good car. It comes in two engine performance levels.
Yeah.
One's a 2 litre, one's the bigger but turbo 1.6 litre. A normal
this one is
110 kilowatts and 180 newton metres. Not a lot for the base one.
still
but
plenty.
the GT and the Sports Plus, you can get the 1.6 litre with 130 kilowatts and 265 newton metres. That's a significant output.
David, more importantly, they've got that DCT, the 7-speed DCT. I really don't like
CVTs.
the CVTs at all. Now, it's taken a little bit of the shape of like Range Rovers and that kind of stuff with the really square, boxy look, but has given it a little bit of polish with these fancy lights.
Using this insert here into the light removes just from the normal boring light that you see typically at the back of an SUV.
Exactly right. And the other thing is just under here, there's a button to unlock. It's not an electric tailgate, it's self-lifting. But I like a bit of a self-lifting tailgate. You don't have to wait for the damn thing to open. There's plenty of space in here, look, and 60/40. What are you laughing at?
It's just a self-lifting tailgate that suits you. Fair enough.
No, I said self... we aren't going to talk about that. It's so hard to find good help. Meanwhile, in the back...
Oh!
A large spare. So this is a full-size spare, which I think is a Kia hallmark. Now along the side, there's this continuation of that square, boxy look, which allows itself to have plenty of space. David, you're going to demonstrate the space.
Oh, look, I got into that very easily,
You
Alan.
did, without making any old man noises.
Yeah, I didn't even grunt.
No, a bit, not a bit. Leg room,
Oh, good.
tons, yep.
Yeah, under
Yep.
here. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not uncomfortable.
Now tell me about the...
Headroom, I've got about an inch or so above my head.
And we're not going to make the what's an inch between friends joke. I've decided I've made an executive ruling. Tell me about the centre console.
There's not a lot there. There is a charger, there's a little compartment and there's some vents.
Lovely. And the quite nice upholstery.
A little bit of stitching that accentuates that. Yeah, it looks certainly reasonable. You have this thing that is on some Hyundais and Kias of this very...
Faceted.
Yeah.
We pointed that out at the launch.
Yeah. You note that it's got the little button to press, which I quite like.
And it will sense you from outside.
Yep.
What do you think?
Well, quite busy in some ways, quite traditional, but a big screen there. It
Lovely
does
big
protrude.
screen, lovely big buttons. The font on the buttons reminds me of a 1990 Lexus.
The only thing
You want to turn that
is-
radio down?
Yeah.
You've got a part digital dash. Don't take any notice of the tyre warning thing. I think I've done something to one of the tyres. And up here, you can see the heads-up display. I couldn't quite get that adjusted properly.
No, do you know what? I'm moving away from touch screens. I drove a Mazda with a nice, easy to operate mouse type thing. I thought it was infinitely safer. It was just easier to manipulate.
Just less convenient. As I pointed out, everything in this car is within easy reach. The steering wheel has backlit buttons, so you know what all these buttons do. And at night, this looks just delightful. And I think the cabin is moody and black. And I think this look appeals to the younger buyer that Kia are really aiming at with something that looks like a little mini Range Rover. Okay, I'll put it into drive and I could hear it release. That 7-speed DCT is just brilliant. The changes are super quick. And the steering and suspension have been fettled by Graham Gambold, who is Kia's Australian tuning guru. I mean, I say that lightly. Normally I hate using that term, but Graham really is a guru, and you can tell cars that haven't been fettled by him, they just are nowhere near as good. The noise from the engine is fairly subdued. It does get a little bit rambunctious when you stick the boot in, but it just lets you know it's alive. It's got quite a nice little buzzy sports car sound. Fuel consumption is not too bad for a car this size, and remember, this car can do a little bit of light off-roading, but like anything that's just all-wheel drive and not full four-wheel drive, I kind of wouldn't recommend it. And the other thing about the ride is that it's incredibly smooth. The suspension on this top model is reasonably sophisticated, whereas the bottom models, they make do with torsion bar. Now, the other thing that I like about the controls is that everything that you want to use day to day is right in front of you. So the lane control, the active lane control, the cruise control up here on the stalk, you can scroll through various functions up on the Part Digital dash by scrolling through it with the Pages button. You can adjust the distance of the Smart Cruise control to the car in front with this button. And it's even got a heated steering wheel. When you turn the heated steering wheel on, it turns the outside heating as well. There's of course active blind spot monitoring. And what that will do is when you're out in traffic, it will try and steer you back in the lane if you've been a bit of a numpty and you wandered over somewhere where you shouldn't be without indicating. Strangely, there's only single zone climate control, which I think is a little bit odd. These days you normally get at least 2. Now, while it doesn't make for a very exciting road test, I think this is the way that most buyers are going to be using this car. Day after day, week after week, doing city chores. They'll be sitting in traffic just like we are. I'm at one of Sydney's worst intersections that just takes forever to change. That's why I've got so much time to talk to you. I just want to touch briefly on the navigation system. All Kia and Hyundai cars that don't have navigation have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All the rest have to use a cord, and Apple decided that they wanted their maps to be the dominant maps, and Kia said no. Well, one big company against another, although arguably going up against the world's biggest company probably isn't world's best practice. So leaving the all-wheel drive system to do its own thing, the 7-speed DCT to do its own thing, you'll notice there's no paddle shifters. Kia says our system's good enough to do those changes on its own, and good for it. It feels like it's set for a weekend away, and so it is. A lot of people have said to me over the last little while that they've had trouble with modern tech in cars. The advanced cruise control with the distance to the car in front, and the advanced lane control, and the active blind spot monitor, they frighten some people. Don't be frightened of it, because it is fighting to protect you and to keep you safe. Like airbags and seat belts, they've proved that if you have an accident and you've got those features active, your life will be safer. Much safer. As always, David, if you've liked the film, hit like,
Leave a comment,
and just over there to subscribe.